We're at a spot along the Eno where we always find a lot of broken glass. And look at this piece that was just laying out here. It's like a little terrarium. My phone's gonna die, but I want to get a quick video of us walking.
Because it's so dramatic, isn't
it? It is.
Oh no, the hill.
There you go. Ah! I found yet another bottle that's broken on the end, and it's got a little terrarium inside. Isn't that just so cute? Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm sitting here writing a page for my journal, the Self-Discovery Journal. I'm on page 2, and I'm going to be showing you the completed page in just a little bit. I think I'm getting better from all of the gluten that I've been exposed to, and there's kind of a long story. I don't really want to get into it on the channel about just... I've really been exposed to too much because of some things that I've been working on. And I don't know if you can see it. I haven't been up very long, but I wake up with like a swollen place under this eye. I wake up feeling like I can't breathe. And I totally think it's like an allergic. Hang on, I just saw a message from my daughter. Some of my little lights burned out behind me, which is why it's not so sparkly back there. I've got to do something about that. And there's so much in here. It's a never-ending problem. So I have a lot of things I want to get done today. I'm just journaling without pressure. I'm sharing a lot on the channel just from day-to-day things. Jason and I were back out on the Eno River yesterday, and we went to a spot where I'm always finding broken glass, and I don't know why these things call to me so much. I think it's because it represents people who are gone, people who lived along the river. There used to be a pump station on the Eno River that supplied the water, and all of that is different now. There's a lot of brick and just these structures that are no longer sturdy. We just really enjoy walking out there. Now, you can't take, I will pick up trash and broken glass. In fact, yesterday I came back with my pockets full of, there was a piece of like a pie tin, a big piece of aluminum foil, and that stuff gets sharp. It was folded up into like a quarter its normal size. I had styrofoam in my pocket, which is horrible. That shouldn't be left floating around the river. Pieces of paper, somebody had dropped a receipt, and I had pieces of broken glass. Some of it's so sharp, and some of these pieces were right on the pathway, and there are dogs who run through there, but a lot of the bottles and things that people find there, they leave it at certain places like the bases of trees, and it's a reminder to everybody what used to be there. I found some really pretty things that I picked up and looked at and then put them back because they're part of, to me it looks like part of a little piece of artwork that somebody left. Anyway, I've got to get busy. I want to finish up this journal page, that little place in the backyard where all the quartz is, and really there's quartz everywhere in the yard, and some of those big rocks are not completely quartz. I truly wish that I knew more about rocks. Robin, you are right. You almost need to have a degree in geology to understand it all, but that spot feels really magical to me. I just love being out there. There's something that draws me to that spot in the yard. I think it's the sunshine. I think it's because it's away from everything else. I want to get some little, like some sort of fencing to make myself a little nature patio out there where I can sit and think and look back towards the house and see all of the birds in the yard. There's just something about that spot that I love. So I'm digging very gently out there, but I'm also kind of leveling and clearing out some of the leaves. I want to make myself a little place to sit out there and think and drink my tea and just watch the yard. I also need to get wood for that seat that I want to repair that I found just the base of it at the thrift store. I've got to plant all of those allium bulbs that I found. I never planted those, and I look at them every day and think, oh, I've got to get to this. So I do have a lot going on, but we enjoyed our walk yesterday. I think I'm feeling better every day because I haven't had gluten in over a week now, and I'm making some changes in my life to not be exposed as much. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, all of you. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera, and then I will focus on my journal page that I'm working on, and I will share the final page. My workshop door just opened. I think it was the wind. Okay. I am really happy with the way this journal is turning out. I'm looking at the way I've set these pages up, and we will just see how the binding turns out. I have to think about the binding when I'm doing each page, and I forget about that sometimes. The fabric behind this is one of my favorite pieces ever. It looks like I have it upside down, but I think you can see the beautiful, beautiful colors. I'm probably going to use this as part of the binding to cover something. I'm not really sure yet. That is the first page, and it's pretty much complete, I would say, except you know how I can be, and I'll probably add some more before it's over with. This page is also pretty much complete, although again, I love to layer, and I may find things that I want to add to the page. Let me tell you about this page. So ugly dolls are just one of my favorite things. Monster dolls, handmade dolls. I love to make them. I haven't made one in a long time. And this is a very fast, like 20-minute doll. I just drew a really quick pattern out on some white, heavy white fabric, kind of like a canvas. I wonder if I can unpin this and show you how long her arms are. So she has really long arms, which worked out perfectly to be able to fold over and pin with this rusty safety pin to help hold the pretty little bag in place. And the bag is just a drawstring cotton bag that I found out thrifting, and I cut the top off. And the milky quartz is in there. I stuck some rosemary pieces in there yesterday. I love rosemary, and I'm finding that it doesn't grow so well here in the backyard. It does better in the front, and probably part of that is the amount of sunlight. Be kind to yourself, which is something that I've really been thinking about a lot. And I opened a tea bag yesterday to make a pot of tea. Some of the bags were Yogi brand, and it was I think it was called Caramel Sleep or something like that. Caramel, I know we say that differently. It's a good tea bag, and I had mixed 2 peach tea bags by Celestial Seasonings in. But the tag on one of the tea bags, one of the Yogi bags, said, "Be kind to yourself." So I wrote that on the page. My mind fills up with so many thoughts that I get really overwhelmed. There's so much I want to do, and sometimes I end up not doing anything. The roses came from a stencil, and I had kind of colored in the stencil with one of these Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2s, and then just went over that with some water. That's a different color of Neo Color. And I put the stencil back into place and used an ink pen that would run. I like to spray that ink with water or brush it with water sometimes and just let it run into the color. This is my little ugly doll, in quotes, because I don't think she's ugly at all, holding my quartz. There's a little quote down here that says, "I dwell in possibility." In possibility. Sometimes it sounds like impossibility. I dwell in possibility, in the possibility that all good things can happen, and that there can be healing, and that there's so much in my heart today. I had a really, really hard discussion with someone today that that I care about very much. Anyway, I'm going to share the entry that's on this page. Here are some little dried petals from a mum chrysanthemum that's out in my little garden area. There's the bottle of little quartz pieces in the pretty jar. I don't know if I'm going to color that lid. My hands are dyed, and it's hard for me to keep my hands ever looking feminine because I'm always digging in the dirt and, you know, tearing boxes apart and building and making things. I wrote, today is Monday, December 6th, 2021. Every single time I write the year, I remember my first memory of writing the year. It was 1969. I was 6 years old. I can still see the numbers on the page. There's a spot in my yard that I am very drawn to. It's my thinking spot. It's near the back of the property. I plan to make it into a little nature patio, and I have that in quotes, with screens. And by that, I want some privacy in that corner. It's very close to the other yards in the neighborhood, and I want to be able to sit out there without feeling like I'm on display. I plan to make it into a little nature patio with screens. I'm so grateful to have a mother who taught me to play outside. There is a lot of milky quartz in the little thinking patio. I found some lovely pieces there already. I have to get up from here and get busy. There are quite a few things on my to-do list. So I've got, a piece of lace here. So I've got these feathers sticking in here. I always worry about things like this because there is a Migratory Bird Act that prohibits keeping feathers of songbirds, birds that are endangered. And, in a way, I understand it because for a while people were killing birds left and right to get feathers for fashion, which is sad. But I respect cultures where Native Americans and different people use nature to create their clothing. And, I don't think they just went around killing animals so that they could look better than somebody else. I think it was a very respectful thing in most cases. These I have in here until I can figure out what kind of bird they belong to. These were in the yard in a little clump. They're very small. They look brown. I know that hawk feathers have the sort of stripes or the checkerboard look. I don't know enough about feather identification. I don't know what kind of bird this is. I think about the different birds we have in the yard. It makes me feel like it was an attack or something because there was a clump of these feathers, including little downy feathers from underneath. I know we have a fox in the neighborhood who lives close by. I know that we have a lot of hawks and we have a lot of owls. I hear the owls at night. They're not super close to my very own yard, but I can hear them, and I've seen them a couple of blocks away. So I know they're in the neighborhood. And I think about the other brownish birds that we have in the yard, and I can't bring to mind what this might be. I'm thinking of the blue jays, the cardinals, the little finches. We do have the rufous-sided towhee. I'm not sure. I don't know what this is. I don't recall seeing something that looked like it would have these stripes in it, but it's really hard to tell looking at a bird overall what each individual feather is going to look like. Something I've noticed, and I don't really care for it, is when I stain things with the distress ink, the Tim Holtz. I love Tim Holtz distress ink, so I will keep using that. But when it fades into paper, it can leave it like a yellow look as it fades. And I was wondering how it would be to come back and add the alcohol ink on those spots. And I just did that. So we will see what that looks like as opposed to that yellow that it can fade into. I do want to show you a couple of things that I made yesterday. I turned the fabric right side up so that we all can feel peace. Things like that bother me. So here are some things. I'm not sure that you could really see how beautiful this piece of quartz is from the last video. It's one of the first things I pulled out of that spot, and it's very flat. It's got a really pretty shimmer to it and some beautiful veins that run through it. I just love how flat it is. It will stand that way or it'll lay down flat. It's just a really pretty piece. I was reading about stones that are supposedly good for the thyroid and the throat chakra, and I want to say, I don't want to get into whether or not this works. I know some people laugh at it, some people take it very seriously, but here's the way I feel about things like this. There are properties that come from natural elements and materials and crystals and gems. If that weren't the case, we would not have things like radium. And there are gases and things that are released from the earth, and they permeate things, pressure, heat, all of that changes things. Quartz is used in watches for precision movement, piezoelectric. I don't know once something is brought into this state if it has any physical properties on a huge scale as far as being able to, affect the body, affect the health. But I think things like this can definitely affect the mind. Metaphysical things do have an effect on us if we're drawn to them. So for me, like wearing something like this, and this is blue lace agate. I bought this when Jason and I went to Rare Earth Beads. I love to go see the stones that they have. And if you see something you like there, you need to get it because they get in groups of things. I have some beautiful pieces, like really beautiful oval and round and heart-shaped cabochons and things that they're gone. They buy them, bring them in, put them on display, and then they sell really quickly. And if you want 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, I've learned you better go ahead and buy them. I think their prices are good. I think I paid about, I can't remember if it was $3.95 or $4.95 for this one piece of blue lace agate, which is, it's a chalcedony and quartz. It's supposed to be good for your throat. And then the lapis lazuli, this really beautiful blue. This is a bead. They had larger pieces that were $8.95, and they were really pretty, but the only shapes they had left, I kept thinking it's going to be really hard to wrap them the way I want to wrap them. And I like for them to turn out in a way that they will hang pretty, and you can really show off the beauty of the crystal. Sorry, I could hear something outside. Jason's at a rehearsal right now. These other beads, I can't remember what they are. I need to look back at the things I've purchased in the past. I should know that, and it's floating around in my mind, but it won't come to the forefront. So I put this together last night, and I think it's really pretty. I also put this together. It's a bracelet with Dalmatian jasper beads. So I like to just sit and make bracelets and things sometimes, but I did want to show you those and talk a little bit about that kind of thing. I've always loved nature and just digging for rocks. I think the simplest things are so pretty. Nature is beautiful. Nature is also brutal. It's the seasons, they cannot be avoided. If you decide that you're going to fight against nature, we know who's going to win. Nature is going to win, and it just makes the prettiest things. I love being out in the woods, and I love digging and planting, and it's taken me a long time to get over losing my old garden and replanting myself, no pun intended, in a new spot. So anyway, those are just some pretty things that I have right now, and I wanted to share the latest journal page. I cannot wait until this is done and I can bind it all up. I know the doll's kind of thick, so I'm not sure how many pages are going to go in this. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be my December journal, although I'm definitely not pushing myself to do a December daily. This is about self-healing, self-discovery, self-growth, being gentle with myself, realizing that I'm not here forever. I've been really drawn lately to documenting things for my children. One more thing about this page, I did go ahead and tie another little charm on here, and it's got some mushrooms that I drew. And then this side says, made with love. Jay, I think you might have sent me the little charms that all say made with love. I think that's all. You'll see this page again. So I'm gonna go for now. I really want to go play. Oh, look how that changed colors. I think it's where it fades out and just the amount of pigment starts to diminish. That scared me. There goes my shop door again. It's like somebody's coming in and out. I believe it's the wind because it's windy today. And there, the door just closed again. It's really funny. So I'm gonna get up from here, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate having everybody here. I'm wishing everybody peace, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.